Berkeley, California. On the morning of the protest, Sean Hines woke with a sense of purpose he'd seldom felt. He was a 20-year-old high school dropout with no car, no job and no money. A year and a half ago, he'd been arrested for a drunken brawl. Now Hines was about to be arrested again, but for something he believed in. In his Santa Rosa halfway house, Hines dressed in all black. He chugged an energy drink, popped some nicotine gum and climbed into a friend's car that blasted German punk rock as it barreled toward Berkeley. Alerta, anti-fascista. The chorus shrieked. It was a call to arms for militant anti-fascists, or Antifa, and Hines was heeding it. But the August 27 protest in Berkeley did not go according to plan. Police quickly arrested Hines and 12 others. Then, in images broadcast across the country, more than 100 Antifa activists slept over barricades and stormed Martin Luther King Jr. Civic Center Park, attacking a handful of President Trump supporters and right-wing activists. A month earlier, few Americans had heard of Antifa. Then came Charlottesville, where Antifa activists were credited with protecting clergy members from attacks by white supremacists. The violence in Berkeley led to a backlash, including from the left. The city's mayor, a Democrat, called for Antifa to be classified as a gang and for the University of California at Berkeley to cancel conservative speeches later this month to avoid more violence. In Washington, where Antifa smashed storefronts and torched a limousine on Inauguration Day, authorities fear the far-left activists will strike again Saturday, when the mall will host the Yuggalo March, a gathering of fans of the rap group Insane Clown Posse, and a pro-Trump event dubbed the mother of all rallies. If Trump's election has emboldened the far right, then it has also energized its enemies. Hidden behind masks, however, Antifa activists remain mysterious. Are they everyday citizens guarding against the rise of a Fourth Reich? Or are they, as Trump has claimed, merely the alt-left, a lawless mirror image of the white supremacists they oppose? On Thursday, Trump claimed recent Antifa antics had justified his much-criticized response to Charlottesville, in which he blamed the violence on both sides. I think, especially in light of the advent of Antifa, if you look at what's going on there, you have some pretty bad dudes on the other side also, and essentially that's what I said, he told reporters Thursday. Interviews with a dozen Antifa activists show they come from a variety of backgrounds and are only loosely affiliated. Some, like Hines, are youths in search of a cause. Others have been demonstrating for decades. Many are anarchists, although some vote. They employ a range of peaceful tactics, including doxing, or exposing, white supremacists. While they are all open to using violence, some embrace it, even glorify it. What unites them is the belief that free speech is secondary to squashing fascism before it takes root in the United States. If everyone is punching a Nazi, it's eventually going to create a mass militant movement based around anti-fascist, Hines said. That hopefully will be enough to stop them from gaining power. Among the scores of Antifa who stormed the park that day in California were John Kuchenboo, 27, and Vincent Yokelson, 23. The Bay Area natives began protesting against racism in 2009 when Oscar Grant, a 22-year-old African American, was shot in the back by a white Bay Area rapid transit officer. In the years since, they have attended dozens of demonstrations, including Occupy Oakland and Black Lives Matter marches. 2 years ago, Trump's presidential campaign changed everything. White supremacists began holding rallies in the Bay Area. Antifa began confronting them, with force. There has been a galvanization of both sides, Yokelson said. We're each other's enemy. The same thing was happening across the country. On Inauguration Day, two incidents 2,000 miles apart hinted that the conflict, dating to standoffs between skinheads and anti-racists in the 1980s, had intensified. In Washington, a masked Antifa sucker punched Richard Spencer, a leader of the alt-right movement that seeks to create a whites-only ethno-state. Footage of the attack spawned internet memes as well as a question many Americans seem to take seriously: is it okay to punch a fascist? The same day, an anti-fascist protester was shot in the stomach, allegedly by a Trump supporter, during demonstrations against a speech by right-wing blogger Milo Yiannopoulos at the University of Washington in Seattle. Whether Americans had heard of Antifa or not, violence involving the far left and far right suddenly seemed to be everywhere. Nowhere was it as intense and frequent as in Berkeley. On February 1, dozens of Antifa smashed windows and lit fires on the UC Berkeley campus, leading the school to cancel a speech by Yiannopoulos. A month later, Trump suppo.